Hello, my name is Faylis Matos. I am from Boston, Massachusetts. I currently reside in Dorchester, and I graduated from Trinity a year ago, and I just can't get enough of this place, I guess. So hip-hop for me has always been an outlet. My mother is, like me, I'm a spoken word artist. My mother was a rapper in college, and she was really well known, and she was in a group called Partners in Crime, and her rap name was QT Icy. So I grew up with my mother, you know, saying her old college raps, like in the kitchen while she's cooking with me and stuff. And so I've always been around just hip-hop in general. Like, I grew up watching, you know, tons of like movies and like old music videos and things like that with her. And writing became real to me, I guess, in when I was 11 years old. I had a really jerk of a teacher, and I got sent to detention without any real reason. Actually, I got sent to the principal's office, and I was so angry about like what had been done to me and how I'd been falsely accused of whatever it was. And there was a spoken word artist my mother took me to see that night when I got out of school. And it was my first time being, you know, introduced to spoken word. And afterwards I told him how much, his name is Omekongo. I don't know if any of you are familiar with him, but Omekongo Dominga became my muse. And I spoke with him after the show, and I told him how angry I was, and he said, write down everything you feel, like anything you're feeling, write it down. And I had kept a diary back then, but it was mostly, you know, what I did that day. So once I started writing down my anger, it turned into rhymes. Everything started rhyming that I wrote down. Jeez. And everything I wrote down started rhyming. And then I strung it together and it became a storyline. And that's the first experience I had with spoken word. So it went on from there. I've always been really big on beauty image, you know, especially being a black woman. I think it's really important for women to know that dark skin is beautiful, of course. And you know, I've been in this, like, we live in a society that tells us otherwise. Every woman I see, you know, on TV and in magazines says otherwise. So my first poem that I performed was one called Self-Appreciation, that talked all about self-love, loving how you look, who you are, the way you talk, the way you dress, everything about you. And I performed that, and it became like a favorite here, my freshman and sophomore year. So yeah, poetry to me, spoken word to me, and hip-hop to me is familiar. It reminds me of childhood with my mother, and it's my outlet. Anything I'm thinking, I'm feeling, good or bad, I'm gonna write it down, and I'm gonna share a message on how you can improve your life. All my poems end with an uplifting message. You know, I have one line that is, can't complain when you play the game, but control it, own it. So you can't complain about your situation, but you can take control of it. So things like that. So that's what hip hop is.